Good afternoon. This is Field Senior Trainer, International Master Chess Coach Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. So, hello Subankar, I'm Srikant Dave, Eugen, and all are welcome. Okay, the position is white to play. What is the winning plan for white? White to play and win. White to play and win. Okay. How should white win? Okay, he queens. Okay. And now what if pawn push? What if the pawn push? Now what should white do? Okay, he queen and took and black pushes the pawn. What should white do? Srikant Dave, King F8. So, do you all agree? What should white do now? Sorry, wrong answer. Subankar, right answer. Rook C5. Rook C5 is Subankar, correct answer. Cutting off the king. This is the winning move. Not rook c4, the draw. King f8 is a draw. You have to cut off the king. That is why he can't push the pawn. He can't push the pawn. If he pushes the pawn, then cut off. So winning. If you push the pawn, now this is bad move, cut off and winning. 5th rank. The cut off on the 5th rank. That is why he will move the king. And now the simply king comes. They will fight for this. The king comes. Winning. And now maybe rook here. Maybe rook here first. The only move, and the king comes, and the king comes. Sorry. The king comes and wins. Winning. Nothing can stop. Okay, both the pieces. Hello Ramakrishna. Let's go next quickly. Okay, this position is white to play and win. point is, white has to cope up with the connected pawns. And white also has to watch his own pawn. White has to watch his own pawn also. He has to cope up with the connected pawn and counter attack on the pawn. No, Srikanth Dave, Rook C6 was wrong. Rook C6 was wrong in that position. Here, the only winning, here, Rook C6 is mistake. E8, Queen, take. Now Rook C6 is a mistake. This is a mistake, it's a draw. This is draw. Now King here, pawn push. And now cutoff will not work. 7th rank. And now it is in easy draw. Easy draw. So you can't do that. You have to play only move, rook behind and then king. Next. Okay, the position, you have to deal with the pass pawns and protect your own pawn. How should white play? So, by the way, I want you lot of players wants to play with me. So, I will give an extra session every day for playing. 3 to 5 is my class and I will give 2 hours more in the evening, 6 to 8. So 6 to 8 is only playing session. And now theoretical discussion, this 3 to 5. Practical and theoretical. No, Srikanth Dave, Rook C6 does not work. That is the only winning method. Rook C6 does not work. So, how white should cope up? Counter attack on the pawn and also 2 pass pawns. You must improve your endgame skill, otherwise you cannot get good result. Do not underestimate the endgame skill. ND4, correct move. This is the correct move, wrong move. The reason is, if you play knight e5, mistake, this is a mistake. Because why this is a mistake? King e2, first king, it doesn't matter. When he attacks, now knight e5 is a mistake. Why? King attacks, now king, and now the knight is statue. That means just 2 pawns are enough to keep the king tied down. The 2 pawns are enough. So, the knight d4 keeps away. Now there is a fortress. All this is fortress. So you have made a fort. And then after that the king cannot approach. Just in time. Because now the king is ready to give protection to his pawn. So free the game. And just enough. Winning. So accuracy in end game, logical thinking. The position I have already explained to you. If it is white to play, white wins. White to play, white wins with this. And black to play, black plays this and draw. If white to play, white wins. Black is in zugzwang. Now king e4, knight g2 wins. But it is black to play. So it is draw. However, you must know how to handle. For example, now if white plays this, what black should do? What should he do? You have to be very accurate. How should now white handle? Now white has played king d2. How black to continue? How to draw? No. G5 is a mistake. You play G5 is a mistake. G5 is a mistake. You must now maintain the opposition. opposition. Not this. This is a bad move. This will bad move. Then it is white will win the game. If you play this, white is winning. Now if you play king, and now king, and now king, knight is winning. It is winning now. So you cannot play carelessly. Now you must maintain the opposition. This is the correct way. To meet again king e2 with king, or king d3 with king f3. Draw. You can't push the pawn. So the correct move is king g3, and now king. But you have time to play and draw because you have time to attack. And now he cannot push the pawn. He will lose the game. So you have to come attack, only move. Pushing the pawn, black will win the game. So only move and draw. So it is very important. It is very important that you must play, execute carefully. Opposition, distant opposition, triangulation, pass the move to opponent. Okay, let's this position. The point is, there is a big difference here. Now, if black to play, black will draw the game. But if it is white to play, white winning. That the point is, the pawns are less advanced. They are in the 4th rank. But they are in 5th rank and beyond, then white will win the game. But the pawns have not moved so far, and black has the move. So black can draw the game. Okay. Playing session every day at evening will be nice. Okay, I will give 2 hours every day because lot of people called me that we want to play. So I will play 2 hours, 6 to 8 every day. Of course, barring Wednesday. No class on Wednesday. All right. No, that is Sunday I want to play, but Sunday is full day playing. Sunday full day playing, 2 sessions Sunday, every day 1 session in the evening. Now here, black to play, black can draw, knight. Now there is nothing. You come here, I keep giving checks. Knight here, knight f6 check will push him back. King e4 does not work. So you have to give a check. Now king, and now knight check. The point is the drawing method that you need to make the pawns weak, like knight g5 will come. No, you have to weaken the pawn, paralyze them. Then blocking. So he will wait. Check. Just far away. Now pawn says to move. You cannot move g5, only move h5. But that is enough. Now this is the hole. The knight should come here and sit down. No progress. The pawns has to be paralyzed. But mind you, the starting position, if it is white to play, white wins. I have already discussed. But black to play, the resource of draw. King e4 cannot come. I will push the king back. Knight check and you have to force back. Pawn check. You are in time. Check. And now, just repeat. Now king e5. Now forced. You are forced to play h5. Otherwise there is no progress. If you play king e3, knight check is there. Okay. All right. Let's see how about this position. It is white to play. White is a pawn down. Stalemate is correct answer. Who said that? Tirth Parmar. Resource of stalemate. That is the correct answer. And now king. Now if he plays king c4, king a3 zugzwang. So he has to play again. And now attack. Forced. Forced. Again, you can't play king b5. Stalemate. You have to play. And now draw. Forced and stalemate. Resource of stalemate says the day. We have to be accurate in because some themes, certain positions I always repeat because the theme is important. Now white to play and win. So what is okay, first let me see your answer, then I will discuss. Let's be quick. Ready? Tirth Parmar. Yuzen says king a5. Tirth Parmar says king c4. So both are mistake. King a5 is bad. King c4 is also bad. The point is, you are looking at one situation. Now, the point is, the pawn is rushing. Pawn is coming. So the king has to watch the pawn. Number 2, the king is coming. So you have to stop the king. You have to do both the job. The king wants to come and the pawn wants to push. So this is the key square. Wrong square, wrong square. If you play king c4, then black king will rush to this point. You can't stop that. For example, king. Now you start pushing. King. Now you start pushing. King will come. And you come, king will come. Now you play. Now you are on the 6th rank, 5th rank. So you are not able to cope up. You are unable to catch. Now 5th rank, draw. Both will go in same time. So you are losing decisive tempo. That is why king c5. Here you are in time to catch the pawn. You are watching the pawn. Even if he is there, even if he is on g4, still you can catch. You are on the square. Even if the pawn is on g4, white can reach the square. That means king is ideal and king is very well placed to obstruct this king. For example, now let us do the same thing. It doesn't work. I stop and I am already in 4th rank. And when you queen, the skewer will come. Check and check. Skewer will come. There is a skewer. So this is the point. King stops the black king, and also suppose you push in the race. You can't push. This is not working. Only move. King, only move. And now push, only move. And now queening with check. The point. Okay. All right. Next. Okay, Yuzen made a notation mistake. Srikant Dave has made some notation mistake. King a5. Okay, next. The position actually I repeated because it appealed to me. The point is, now black pawn is so much advanced. The king is far away. And white has 2 pieces. So even if you lose a piece, another piece is there. So still, I have repeated it because the theme is important. 2 moves only is queening. But now if you push the pawn, both will queen. It's a draw. If you push the pawn, draw. So you have to catch. You must take. But now push. Both are on 6th rank. Now forced. Otherwise pawn push. Now still he is able to catch because the knight check and the knight is coming, but you gain a tempo. 2 tempos. Forced, and that's enough. Just in time. What was the upper hand in pawn sack? What is the white has the upper hand in pawn? Okay, right. All right. Next. The position is white to play. It is a repetition, but let us be quick since this is a repetition. White to play and draw. White to play and draw. Tirth Parmar says king to b5. Okay. King b6. Unfortunately, both the answers are wrong. Now, the correct move, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is the right move. King b6 or king b5, white will lose the game. The reason is, this is the route for white. This is the route. If you are away from the route, when you are playing king b6, you are away from the route. You understand? Suppose you play king b5. This is bad. Now you are away from, this is the route. You are away. This is lost. Winning. So you need to in the right route. The route. So king here. King b6 also same thing. On king b6 also the same thing. I will come. You are away from the route. You should have been here by now. Now you should reach c8 to come. That is why not distant opposition. It is obstruction. It is about obstruction. The route. Now if you play king b6 or king b5, king here is winning. So king b7 is draw. Now king will not work. I will stay near the route. King b8. I will stay near the route. And stalemate. Even here, this is also leading to stalemate. Even this is also okay. This is also okay. Forced. King f5. Stalemate. So you have to see, consider route. I hope you got my point. Okay. Next. This position is white to play. What is the advantage of white here? What is the advantage of white? White has winning chances, but asking you, what is the advantage of white? No, it's not correct. No. White will win the game. White is winning because he can create an outside pass pawn. White can create an outside pass pawn. That is why white is winning. For example, now king f2. He will play king, now king. There is nothing better. You have to move, but then outside pass pawn. Not dark square. It is, I told you, white is winning because he can force an outside pass pawn. King, g4. Forced. Now check is only move. Here, what else you will do? You can play king, pawn push. Now check. Now this is the right square, wrong square. This is a critical moment. It is a critical moment. King g3 runs to check again. If you play king g3 is bad move, he will play king, and once again a tempo is coming. That is the reason king h3 wins. Avoid the tempo. Now king and winning. Or you can push, you will queen. So the advantage is outside pass pawn. That is the point, that is the concept. That is why white is winning. No, it is not stopping. Nothing is stopping g4. f5 will lose the game. Now king f2, f5 will lose because he will run into zugzwang. Now he will run into zugzwang. g3. Maybe g3, maybe just king here because this is faster. King here and take, and this pass pawn is created. So f5 is not working. f5 is not working because no. Now f5 is not working. King, and now king, and now king. Okay, so it is winning. So you have to play king f5 only move, but king, and after that g4 pass pawn. White is botu. Okay, next. This position I have already discussed, Laskar's position. Laskar's position, white is winning because badly placed pawn. Imagine the pawn is not on the board, it's a draw. Suppose we will remove the pawn from the board, this extra pawn of black, it's a draw. It is a draw. But the presence of the pawn on the board, black loses the game. Black loses the game. King. Now king. Now distant opposition. Now point is, if you take the pawn, it's a draw. No win. White cannot win after king into pawn. The reason is that this is the only pawn, but then draw. This is a rook pawn. After king takes pawn, it's a draw. So you should aim to king should go here. This is the point. Okay, let me show you. King takes pawn, draw. Now king, king, king. Now king. You take any pawn, it doesn't matter. King, you have to take a draw. Draw. So we will start the tactics very soon. It's a draw. So that is the point here. You should not take the pawn. Now king. And black is forced to give way. Now he must move and he will lose all these pawns. And winning. All right. Hello. Goes. Next. Yes, I showed. Now tactics. Now the position is black to play. What is the point? At the moment, black queen is under attack. So you have to think what black should do. Hello, Arshit Ghosh. Good afternoon. You want to change this side, flip the board? Okay. How should black play? Tirth Parmar comes out with the correct answer. Queen is not a problem. Your king is in problem. So pawn n2 is winning. Now the point is, there is no time to take queen. If he takes the queen, he will lose. Rook into check. And pawn takes check. Or bishop takes check. It doesn't matter. Bishop check, pawn check, same thing. And pawn check. And now winning. Material. So he cannot play queen. He cannot take the queen. That means he has to take the pawn. But then bishop check. The point is, this is a mate. And who is guarding it? The queen. So if you play rook or bishop, he will take it. The queen is overloaded for the defense. So this is not working. Now that works. Bishop into and then and mate. So well done. Next, overloaded queen. The position is white to play. Think about it. How should white play? I I will write back. You think about get some water. Okay. So, what is the answer? Correct answer. Who said? Manish Khanduja. Manish Khanduja. Rook f6. Correct answer. Rook into. The point is, now this rook is a rejoinder, So rook into rook does not work because queen into and double check. Double checkmate. Okay, whatever you do, it is lost. You take bishop into, it is lost. Nothing is working. Nothing is working. You bf6, now bishop into, only move, and queen h4 wins. Pawn to f5 or queen f6, check and mate. Rook checkmate. Yes, correct answer, Tirth Parmar. Yeah, next. The position is white to play and win. Dorothy Hamilton. Hello. Dorothy Hamilton, welcome. How does white win? Knight check, king h8. On knight check, king h8. The correct answer. Queen and king both are attacked. On knight check, divide. Now both are weak. Both are weak. Rook into. Not working. Now it is not working. Whatever you do, it is a mate threat and also the queen threat. Two threats at same time. Well done. Next. Nothing can stop. Now queen check does not work. After queen check, king d2. No check position. No check position. And back rank is weak. So that is also winning. Now rook does not work because queen into check. Now he tries to support, also loses. Whatever you do, it is lost. Okay. Well, alright, next. The position is white to play and win. The resource of black is when you pin, he will have a counter pin. Pin is met with a counter pin. If white tries to pin, black will have a counter pin. What if queen g2? What in last position? You mean last position? Okay, I will go back. Last position. Knight check. And now rook into. So queen g2, how it works? Mate. There is a mate threat. There is a mate threat now. There is nothing is working. So only move. Now you defend the mate or defend the queen. Not working. Okay. All right. Next. White to play. Yes. Pin, counter pin and cross pin. There are three pin. Pin number 1. Then he counter pin. And then cross pin. This is already a pin piece. So cross pin. Pin, counter pin, cross pin. Queen f4. Correct answer. Yeah, next. The position is white to play and win. Karthik calling Karthik. So what is the winning method? Bishop into a6. If you play bishop a6, you will play queen a5. So what is your answer? Tirth Parmar? You want to play bishop into a6, he will play queen a5. Attacking both. You play bishop into a6, queen a5. What will you do then? Bishop into a6 is correct answer. Now queen a5, the point is you have to open more rook into, not knight into, rook into. Now after this, knight check and winning. Knight check is winning because queen is coming, queen b3. So after rook into, suppose you will play bishop into is lost. Whatever you do, it is lost. What he will do now? Anything is lost. Queen a5, not knight c5. Rook into knight. Now pawn into is losing because queen check. Bishop into is losing, knight check and queen. And queen into is also losing. This is also losing the game. For example, now what you can do, maybe just you have to just play rook here is winning. Just rook move wins. Enough. So queen a5 does not work, and if you take pawn into, rook check and knight check, and then discover check, knight f8, some knight into knight, and the double check. Double check wins. Now you have to take it a double check. Double check. Maybe what else? Knight in knight here, discover and win the queen. That's better. That's better. Okay. So both are not working. Queen a5 does not work and pawn into bishop does not work. All right. Next. The position is white to play and win. White has so many active pieces. Your rook and queen, everything is active, everything is working. Now king is very weak, the pawn is working. So how should white win? Chess master, good afternoon. So chess master, you be ready to play with me at 6 o'clock today, because 3 to 5 class, I will take a break of 1 hour. Not queen d8. Yes, use then. Bishop c5 is correct. Bishop c5 correct. You cannot take it, then queen d8 wins. And if he plays bishop c4, anyway queen d8. Because this mates and queen into and then rook checkmate. So, after bishop c5, this bishop c4 does not work and bishop into bishop direct mate. Correct? Now the position is white to play and win. White is winning, Babu. How? White is winning. Okay, I will come back to your answer. Okay, queen d8. Okay. Here, now the point is the queen d8 is not working really. Why it is not working? He can do somewhat. I can do what I can do. Queen d8. I think that is also working. Bishop move, rook checkmate. Queen into queen, rook into. That is also made. I think it is working. It is working. Queen d8 also works, by the way. Yeah. Okay, this Parmar, that is also working. Alright, next. The position is white to play and win. Let me see, it's not working. Or did I miss something? Why he says in the game, why queen d8 is not working? Oh, there is bishop has not come. See, where you will give mate? Where is the mate? The bishop has to be here. That is why. That is the reason. That is the reason your bishop must come here to give a support for the rook. That is the point. So it doesn't work. So queen d8 does not work. I already thought the bishop is there. Queen d8 is a bad because he will just take bishop into. That is the reason he comes here combining attack on the f8. Alright. Yes. Next. By this is white to play and win. Not queen into d6. Jagrut. Rook d1. Kamakshi Basto. Kanaksri. Correct move. Because after this, rook into rook and double checkmate. Double checkmate. The point, double checkmate. Or you lose the queen. Alternately, you lose the queen. Queen does not work, mate. Whatever it is, lost. The position is white to play and win. White to play and win. Queen f7 he will defend. Now Tirth Parmar on Queen f7, Rook g8. Tirth Parmar, when you play Queen f7 and Asrit, he will play Rook to g8. When you play Queen f7, Rook g8 comes. Defending the bishop. What will you do? Huh? Queen f7 is answered by Rook g8. Yes, I told you, Queen f7, black will play Rook g8. There comes the correct answer. Tirth Parmar. Queen f7 is correct. He cannot take the only move. You will lose the only move. But then you vacate the square. Now bishop into is a mate and pawn into mate. Anyway, knight is mate is coming. You take bishop into queen is a mate, pawn into queen is a mate, and you try to defend, you lose the queen. Winning. So well done. Well done, boys. The position is white to play. Basically, it has come from Polygast variation of Sicilian Nasdaq, which is no more in fashion now. The Polygast variation is no more in fashion. White to play and win. At the moment, the pawn is doubly attacked. Yes, ne6. ne6. Now pawn into loses to mate, queen check and mate. And if you play queen into pawn, also mate, knight checkmate. Basically, I will tell you the variation is outdated. For example, this is the Polygast variation. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, cd, nd4, knight f6, nc3, a6, bg5, e6, f4, b5. This is the Polygast variation. Now, the whole line is outdated after e5, and it takes. Now queen c7. Now queen to e2. Now queen to e2. Now the whole point is, now black player used to play something knight move like that. They used to play all these things. It is now outdated now, because the simple answer. Now Grandmaster Peter Lecco found the simple answer here. Not queen e2, the old line. Whole book is gone. Whole book is based on this queen e2. But Lecco found the simple answer. Queen check, b e2, queen into castle, plus minus. Simply too much development, and black only queen is out. So the position is terrible. Ganpat ho gaya it is. The whole position is bad. Okay. Asrit, Ganpat means the position is drowning. Dubne wala. Somebody is getting drowned. It's called Ganpat. So this is outdated now. Okay. Okay, next. Now the position, it is very interesting position. Black to play and draw. The pawns are moving in this direction. The pawns are moving in this direction. Black to play and draw. They are doing a Hindi movie in Bollywood, Ganapat. They are doing a movie, Ganapat. How should black draw here? You can see the threat is very clear. White is giving serious threat. What is the white threat? White threat is bishop checkmate. White is giving a threat. So what should black do now? The threat is bishop checkmate. What should you do? No. No, bf3 does not work. What is there? Giving a piece free. You are giving a piece free, will lose the game. No, it is not correct. bf3, he can play gf3 also. bf3, just giving a piece free. You should know the pawn is moving this way. Srikant Dave, rook into h4. This is the correct move, but the answer is correct. What will you do after king takes it? Now, what should black do? Now white has taken. You take, give a check, you will take it. Now how do you draw? Now the point is, there is a very strange draw. Force repetition of moves. It is a very funny concept here. The point is, it is very funny concept. Now he will attack. Black bishop, two bishops. He will attack this, both. Now bishop attacks. Now the point is, you cannot take that. You cannot take that. So what is he going to do? Rook will support. Now the point is, if you take it, the pass pawn is coming. You cannot take bishop. I mean, black pawn will queen. That is why rook will support. Rook. And now again not this move. Rook will support the bishop. Again it is looking that white is winning. It appears white is winning, but actually it is still not winning. Black has a draw. Yes, rook into h4, bishop d5, only move, and now he play how to draw the game. bh6 check. bh6 check, you will come here. What is this one? Now forced. Now bishop only move. The only move is rook. This is the only move. And now bishop check. Again only move. Only move. Check. Now he will try to win. He will not repeat. He will play king. But then pawn push. This is the draw. There is no other draw. You have to force the bishop from this point, forcing him. And now if you take it, pin. Suppose you take, then it is a draw. I will pin it. Then you cannot do anything. Rook gone, draw. So what he will do? Save the rook first. His idea, he will not take, but give a check and take. Even then it's a draw. Now check, still the draw. Still there is a draw. You have to take and lose the rook. So the whole point is, it is based on the resource of the pass pawn. Pass pawn. Rook into is a good move. Now bishop is a very good move. It is not easy to see this move, because the point is the pass pawn is running away. The point is this. So this is possible. And after a rook here, he can push this pawn. No. No. I think push. No, bishop check. Again bishop check. You cannot do, only move. Otherwise draw, repetition. And now pawn push. Now if you give a check, and now if you take it, still this is a draw. Bishop into pawn. Yeah. Insufficient material to win. The position is black to play and win. Black to play and win. Guys, again I announce that every day, except Wednesday. Wednesday is my off day. Every day I will play 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. practical training. I want to see what are you picking up. King ko heart attack ho gaya. Now the point is, now this is the main theme. The queen is in this place. This is the point. This is the point. Rook c2. Correct answer, rook c2. Now if he takes this, checkmate. Knight into checkmate. And if he comes here, he loses the queen. Knight check, you have to support, and knight check picks up. Alright, next. The position is white to play. I flip the board. White to play. And win. Yes, Srikant Dave gives the correct answer. Only correct answer, Srikant Dave. Queen f5 is not correct. Queen f5 he will run away. The correct move is bishop. There is a mate threat. He is giving straight forward mate threat. So queen has to come. But then you block and win. Just block and win. Okay. Simple. Now this will not work, because the check is coming. Queen check, finishing the game. So the bishop e8 forced. There is no way to stop the mate. Only queen is the defender. Whether you play queen g4 or queen f5, you will block, winning. Alright. No, there is no mate. Suppose you play queen f5. Now here you play queen f5. Rook e7. What is it? Queen f5, king c8. Now rook coming here. I guess there is defense. The check, non-stop checks will come. Check, check, perpetual. Rather perpetual check. Now check. Now check again. Perpetual check. Here you are not giving time. The point is, you are not giving time for perpetual check. The rook is already there. Now bishop e8. Sorry, not this. Now there is no perpetual check. If you play queen check, you are leaving the back rank unguarded. So this bishop e8 is the correct answer. Alright. Now king c7 does not work. Now if you play, he will lose everything. The whole house. He will lose the whole house. Check. Now this check. Now this check, and now you come here. Now this should win easily. Maybe here, how can I quick win? This should be winning. It should be winning. Check. How do I force a win here? Maybe. Oh no. I made a mistake. Okay. I think I made a mistake. I did not see the rook. Your answer, let me see that I did not know perpetual check. Now what you are doing is you are playing queen a5 check. There is no perpetual here. No perpetual. The rook is there. Wait a minute. Now you want to play rook e7. No, this is wrong analysis. Wrong analysis. Okay, I will not do this. Wait a minute. So what do I do here? Give a check. Now it is a perpetual, and now again you will give a check. Is it mate? Should be mate also. I think. What is it doing for queen a5? Only move. No. I think queen a5 also wins. Now rook coming. How is he going to defend? c7. Also defense is not there. Yeah, I think it is winning also. b8, queen g4. Okay. So this is also winning. b8, queen g4 does not work. b8 on queen g4, it doesn't work. Now you have to come here. Because queen is watching the square, you have to defend only move. Or s3, it doesn't matter. Rook e6 will come. Queen f5 or this, rook e6 will come. Sorry, rook e6 coming. Okay. Alright. Let me see the flaw. Now if you, what are you saying is queen a5, king, rook e7, b6. b6 is there. Idea when you take it, is he getting perpetual check? No, I don't think so. Check. Check. And now he runs away. King here, there is some bishop check. But king runs away. Then how many checks you will give? I think he will run away. He will run away. King. He will run away, I think. Next, king should run away. So, not correct. So, that is the reason bishop e8 is correct answer. Alright. Next. White to play and win. Let us finish the tactics quickly so I can go to the main topic. White to play and win. The simple move, the bishop is pinning the pawn. So queen wants to land here. So simple move. Queen cannot take it and pawn into mate, and the only move is to knight pawn into, but then queen here. Finish. No answer. The rook is guarding f6. Rook is guarding the f6. Tactics end. One more. White to play and win. Play like Walter Arancibia, former world junior champion. Walter Arancibia. कौन बहुत हो जाएगा white to play and win. The point is here, now you see the knight is pinned. Okay, the knight is pinned. So knight into pawn, giving a threat of queen, forced to take with knight. So only move, but then queen enters and wins. Now there are too many threats. This threat, these three threats. This three threats. Now queen b6 does not work because knight check, only move, check, and next move mate. So the only move knight, but then knight other check. The only move rook into rook wins. So either way, so the knight into pawn is the key. Knight into pawn. Now the queen enters decisively. After knight into, this is here forced to take, and this variation is lost. Either he loses the rook or gets mated. Either he gets rook, gets mated. Okay. Actually, I will tell you, there is Ganpat in Bombay. It is a Topori language. Normally, it is a street language. Ganpat means dub gaya. So they are making a famous movie now. Ganpat. Ganpat. Okay. Next. So I think now we will go to the topic. One more. Yeah. This is white to play and win. When there are heavy pieces, the mating attack counts a lot. When there are heavy pieces on the board, your king safety is very important. I have showed you on this topic. I showed you many examples. Many Laskar, Slater, Tal, Spassky, Smyslov. I have showed many examples. So here the white has the move, so white is winning. Now this is in serious trouble. How do white win? A very important thing. With heavy pieces on the board, king safety is essential. Otherwise, one is in trouble. How does white win? No. Kamakshi Vastu, wrong answer. Asrit Ghosh, wrong answer. No. Queen e7 doesn't work. Queen e7 doesn't work. No. You have to see a mating pattern. Basically, white has to see a mating pattern. No, queen e7, queen is coming. Queen is coming. There is no mating pattern. There is nothing. On queen e7, he can play the rook. If you play queen e7 check, rook is coming. The point is, rook is coming. This is the winning move. Queen e7 is nothing. This is not working. For example, rook will come. Now you give check, rook will, nothing is there. So the here correct move is queen. Because now if you play rook, now this is not working. Just you will take it. White is taking pawn free. And now if you try to bring, there is a mate. Queen check. This is the point of queen e5. Rook checkmate. Mating pattern. Not rook g4. No, rook g4 does not work. What is rook g4 will do? Just take it. Rook g4 will just take it. Nothing. The correct move is queen e5. Now there is two threats. There are two threats now. One threat is queen and then rook checkmate. And other threat is, rook. He is attacking the rook and also giving a threat. Two threats at same time. Yeah. Alright, guys. So we finished the tactics. Now I want to show you some interesting positions, idea. For example, the science of winning chess, you have to always follow the principle strictly. In the opening, there is some decorum. We need to castle, we need to develop quickly, without wasting time. We need to control the center. These are the three philosophy of opening. You have to do that. You cannot go against the fundamental principles. And also you need to see the weak points. A player can collapse in the opening stage if he is not aware of the weak points. You can't treat the position just because open anything will work. So let me show you some games. Let me show you. Now, okay, this is normal. This is very normal. Now here you have got other moves. ND2 is there, Queen B3 is there. This is best, probably in my opinion. B3 is the best. Check. And now this is a bad move. Bad move. Now the more correct move is bishop. And now after this, black will go back with a reasonable equal game. This is reasonable equal. So a bad move. First bad move. But he will not lose because of this. And now pawn into. And now castle, castle. Knight. Everything is going normal. The position is equal now. Because of the mistake of white, black is equal already. Knight c3, rook c8. Now take. Now the position, in my opinion, nothing wrong. What you should do now? White should do a3, controlling the square. And after that, he can continue normal. After a3, now your position is roughly equal. But he makes a bad move. What he thinks? Instead of playing a3, he thought take the bishop. Now he expects the bishop to go back. Idea that normally it is a psychology, giving the bishop just like that is not a good idea. Then white will have two bishops, double bishop with him. So the general players will retreat the bishop. But this is a serious mistake. Knight a4 is a very serious mistake. And because of this, he is almost like in a losing position. What should black do now? What is wrong with knight a4? See, I will tell you, this is the weak point. Now the bishop is watching the diagonal, the square. So this is actually a target. Rook will come, queen will come, He will bring the rook into the line, queen will come. There is problem. And even the knight will enter. So he should be alert about it. So he must safeguard and do some prophylactic moves. And not rook e8, not rook e1. We'll see why. Now first he made a bad move. And now tempo. Now he realized now rook e1 does not work on account of nc2. And if you play, queen is lost. Otherwise exchange is lost. So rook e1 does not work. What is he going to do now? How is he going to defend? Too late. White gave too decisive tempo to black. Too decisive tempo. So simply winning. Three threat on e2. And now knight c2. There is no time for him to take because bishop into pawn check. He cannot take, it is a mate. King here, bishop into pawn check, king h1, bishop into, rook into, and now d4. He is losing another piece also as well. Exchange down and bad position. Pawn down. So instead of playing, and if he takes it, of course he will get mated. If he takes, knight check. King here is a smothered mate. King here will be a smothered mate. King here also mates. And now only move is king, but then check. Queen check. King into, king come bring to the garden. rook check and bishop check and checkmate. So vulnerable point, Archer still f2. You cannot leave. You cannot play now rook e1. So what he will do? He plays rook e1 but then loses. Exchange down for nothing. So a player should never do reckless moves, even though White is a well-known grandmaster of his time and a theoretician, Wolfgang Ullmann. So I will show you another grandmaster game where a player collapses in opening only. So let's see. This you can see this so many weak points. This is a target. This is a target. This is a target. You can't do casual moves. It is played in Olympiad. No, Dortmund Super GM. Dortmund Super GM. This is necessary. Black cannot do this because then White will be terrific. After the move d5, castle, e4, it is crushing. Black will remain passive forever in such a position. The center is totally in hand of White and completely restricted. So you cannot allow d5. The only move is correct move. Only move d5. Take. Now pawn n2 will remain a passive position, but hanging pawn, so knight n2 more active. Now he doesn't want exchange pieces, goes back. Okay. I think the game is equal. It is time that White should castle quickly now. White should castle quickly without wasting time. He should play e3, castle, and now bishop and castle. But White became more ambitious, played e4. It is a risky business. Knight. Now what is the idea of White? He is gaining a tempo. That is all he is looking. Gaining a tempo against the queen. It all appears good. You see, if the king has not castled the position, suppose in this position is White to play, White is good. Because the tempo is coming, the king is uncastled. But after castle, this is not working. Now e5. I want you to evaluate the position and tell me how should black play. I will flip the board, black to play. Black to play now. Yeah. What did you do? So, knight into b4, correct answer. Knight into b4. Knight into b4, because now the queen is hanging. Now after pawn into, he will get the piece better game. Knight d5 is winning. Knight d5 is coming. We cannot accept it. Knight pawn into bishop into is coming. So this is not working. And after knight into pawn into is knight e4 wins. Double attack. And if you come here, then another attack. 3 attacks. And now bd2 does not work. After bd2, still it is failing because rook. Now the point is, still he cannot take. Queen is unprotected. Still he cannot take this. And now rook into is a threat. And then this. So the whole point is, you cannot play with king in center, enter into a tactical melee. You cannot enter a tactical battle with king in center and unprotected pieces. Okay, I will take you to some opening now. My main point of discussion is about dealing with Caro-Kann, one of the well-known line. D3. Of course, there are many ways to confront the Caro-Kann, advanced variation or the main classical ND2 main line. There are many ways, but King's Indian attack is not to be underestimated. So before I take you, maybe I will take you to Tal's Maslov first. This is a line, a very famous game. Then I will discuss the modern approach. Now knight f3. This itself is not a good idea. Not a good idea. Knight f3. Now bishop g4, it is not correct. Why? Because a tempo. Again I am giving a threat. Once again I am giving a threat. Once again the threat on knight into pawn. So, and if it defends, does not work. Pawn into, and knight into picks up one pawn. Is a pawn down, or bishop into, he will support. White was Grandmaster Torre and black is our Indian stalwart Muhammad Hassan. Okay, in Asian Team Championship. So here e5 there is a problem. This is not good. So anyway, so he played this. Now Tal wanted to just open up the game. Now white has already got lead in development and more open lines. Knight into knight only helping. Queen into will come with a pin and harassment. Castle. This is the point. White has an edge now. From the opening, his space, and you are surrendered the bishop. Not working. A typical Tal, master of piece play. Forced. And now Queen h4. White has got terrific piece play. No time to take the bishop. He took the accepted. What else you can do? What else you will do? There is nothing. So, mate threat. G6 does not work. So here, check. And now Queen into. Only move. There is no time to take this. There is no time. He can just play knight into pawn check and knight into bishop, and bishop check is winning. The only move. Now king makes a room. We saw a combination like this today. Now if you, the simple threat, now only you cannot take that. You cannot take rook into back rank. Knight and rook, knight checkmate. Back rank and smothered mate. The only move. And now also wins. And winning. So this is just an example, and I told you that e5 is not a good move. Here e5 is not a good move. nd2, this is not good because of the variation ngf3. Now bg4 does not work on account of be2, and then pawn takes, winning a pawn. So let me take you to the modern games in King's Indian attack. So g6 is popular. Now g3, because bishop will be more active in the long diagonal. Castle. Now the position here, a move started by the very famous Russian Grandmaster Leonard Stein, pawn to b4. This novelty is attributed to Grandmaster Stein. the idea of the move that I want to open up the line and I stop the counterplay of black. Now c pawn is restricted. Now on a5, white has a pleasant choice. He can attack the center pawn, and after the d4 he can just play a3. He can just play a3 and this next move c3. This is how I won a very important game in one Mumbai Open tournament long back. My opponent was a well-known strong player, but this kind of break and I started hitting the center. But the modern grandmaster don't do all this thing. That for a5 just take it. This is, I will show a game on this. b4, modern GMs just take it. There are a lot of open lines. No need to play b2 and a3. Alright, let us see the game he plays. Take it. Tempo. The d4 move is not working. The d4 move and c4, and white is having a big initiative. So he comes, bishop pinning. Rather forced. Bishop to e3 is not working. So bishop e6 is not working. Now white position is preferable. This is only temporary. This is hanging temporarily. Now this rook is, the pawn is a weak point. This is a target. This is also a target. So white has got advantage of bishop pair and lot of tactical targets. And gradually white continues to attack. King's Indian attack is like reverse King's Indian defense. So always there is some attacking chances against the king. Hardly it matters. Pawn takes, and now simply. Now white attack is unstoppable because white, all pieces are participating. All except the a1 rook, all are participating in the pressure against the king. So Grandmaster Tiviako won very nicely. Now the bishop is to participate in the attack. Plus minus. So this a5 does not work. However, you can also play positionally, like you can play bb2 or support with f6. It doesn't matter either way. And now a3. Everything is look for good for white. So this b4 was a very important novelty by Leonard Stein in his time, somewhere in 1970s. Okay, let me show some more games on this point, this variation. Okay, King's Indian attack. No, King's Indian attack. I will go. CD. The point is, there is another way. Now you cannot play knight e5. Why? e5 is coming. So I use this King's Indian attack in about 4 or 5 games. All my opponents played nd7. This is bad. Why it is bad? Because he is preparing. Now direct this you come, then e5 is coming. So they try to control, and then they next want to play knight. But this is bad because pawn takes, and d4. Suddenly the knight is poorly placed. If you play knight f6, where this knight is going? And if you play knight b6, it is very poor placement for the knight. Taras formula. No future. That is the reason nd7 is bad. nd7 is a bad move because you take the pawn and take and d4. Suddenly the knight is in trouble. Okay. No. This is Smyslov system is different. Please do not think as Smyslov. The whole point is, what is Smyslov system? After d4, d5, nd2, pawn into pawn, knight into, this is Smyslov system. The pawn is not on d3. So here, and if you play, then Karpo, Sokolo, Andrei Sokolo, here, bishop to c4 and knight here, and knight comes here. Or whatever you do, white is having a little better game. So in this position, here King's Indian attack I am discussing. It is not Smyslov system. So now e5, castle, and this still white is better. I get the idea of b4 and a5 I will take it. Suppose a5 I will take it. I just showed you the game of Tyryakov. So here he plays nd7. You will face normally this position if you play King's Indian attack. Normally this comes nowadays. However, forced. You cannot develop the bishop other way. There is you have to develop means you have to play rook e8, you have to play knight f8. Then still the bishop is not getting easily. So this is the way to complete development. Necessary. The threat has come on e5 pawn. Necessary. This is white better because white pieces are very active and very good pressure on center. The center is the key point, and black pieces are not coordinated. The knights are passively placed. Strikes at center. Go away from the line of rook. Exchanging the bishop will weaken the black king position. Black king position will be very weak. Plus minus. The position, the king position is bad. Now you have to forced. Again forced. Not forced move, reasonable move. These are bad moves, so stay there as much. There is no question now who is better. Clearly it is white is simply dominating. Black king position is bad. Black center is weak. Necessary queen d6. You cannot stay in the pin. Plus minus. The king side, center, everything is dominating. So, the Smyslov system is different. I already told you, King's Indian attack is different from Smyslov system. Smyslov system comes only on this. It is very reliable. You see, in this position, it is d4, d5, nd2. Now this is Smyslov system. Now this is Smyslov. Now modern move is to play knight g5. You know, this move was found by Andrei Sokolov, also a great player and a great coach now. And it is not easy. If you come here, then knight will come. White is better again. White is better. So ng5, you cannot play. You know, this is what happened. What? Deep blue versus Kasparov. Deep blue Kasparov, this is what happened. So you should not mix up this one here. nd2 here and nd2 here is different. The pawn is on d3. Okay. Next. So this is decisive advantage. Bronstein got an advantage. Please note this. Please note that nd7 is bad. I already told you. Pawn takes pawn. Okay, I will show you a game. I will show you a particular game of Grandmaster Lobron, and black is a very famous Grandmaster, Bent Larsen. German Grandmaster Lobron Larsen. I will show you that. Why nd7 is not correct. Don't mix up with Smyslov line. This is not good. Take, and this d4. Suddenly, the knight is having no good square. You come here, then the knight will be redundant. And if you play knight here, then this is a redundant knight. Redundant knight. No future. I will play bd3 castle. So, this is the problem. So, Lars Lobron played this. Now knight. Rook. Cannot castle. You have to protect the pawn. e6 is bad. If you play e6, then the diagonal is weak. This diagonal. The bishop will take the diagonal. So it is not a good idea. You play e6, he will play some a4 move. a4. Castle. Now b3. and suddenly the bishop will occupy an uncomfortable position for black. So not very nice. So here knight. What else? You keep moving. This is bad. This is bad. We have 4 knight e5. So exchange, and white is better because now black remains in a passive position. You cannot accept that pawn. Cannot accept the gift. It's bad. Taking the pawn is a tactical blunder. Now white has got bishop pair. White has center, and king h5 open. So white has all this advantage. Center, double bishop, and more open lines. So this is just already turned out to be bad. Everything is working. And actually I was watching this game live. It was played in New York 1986, and I happened to be there in New York, and I was watching the game live in the tournament. Okay. This is just bad position. The counter attack or minority attack, this is one of the idea that he wants to play, but it will never come. Before that, the king will be in danger. What else? Because you need to protect that pawn. I don't want to play pawn into, I don't want to block the position, so you need to protect. I think it is getting close finish now. And winning. Okay, queen into is also not working. If you play queen into, you will double the rooks. This will not also work. Simply doubling rooks extra, queen coming also, winning. So king into, check, and then next move I will bring and won the game. So the whole point is, please make a note that in this position, this nd7 is not correct move, because after pawn into d4, the position remains passive. And 4 or 5 players, I don't remember exactly all the names, they were my victim in open tournaments in India. So we should leave this. Now for example, d3. Okay, this is a reasonable setup that black is trying to put. b4. Now this is actually maybe a5 he can try, but I told you anyway it is better, so you want to exchange. This is inferior for you, because the bishop remains very passively placed. The bishop remains very passive because the own pawn is blocking the mobility. So white has an advantage in piece play. Surrender. Naturally, not knight into. Once again white on top. Now white is all good. This bishop has to get a life. This bishop must doing. So the bishop belongs here in the diagonal. So bring it into the game. Well, on knight e6, the already endgame will be very bad. Smyslov was a great expert of one. If you ask me 5 best endgame players of the world, I would say today Carlson is number 1, and Karpov, Smyslov, the Anderson. These are the great endgame masters. You ask me further, you push me, Baganian. Great endgame players. Plus minus. So what we observed, that pawn into pawn, the strategic error here. After this pawn into pawn, where is this move? This is a strategic error. Pawn into, because he could hardly imagine this bishop will come into life here. Very nice. And Smyslov went on to crush the opponent. I will not discuss the whole game because the strategy is only important. So this is a mistake. a5 is a mistake here. Here in this position, a5 is a mistake. I will take pawn into. Of course, I can play the old move a3, bb2. Now you can play a5. I can play bb2 and then a3. Or I can take the pawn like Tiviaco. So a5 is good, bad. And now pawn takes pawn is bad. Now I will take you to the advanced line. nd2. This is a classical system. Now pawn takes pawn is the main line. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, bishop f5, knight g3, bishop coming h4, h6, then now knight f3, now knight d7, now h5, bishop, and this is supposed to be the main discussion in classical Caro-Kann. This is the main line. Bishop into queen into white is little better space. So instead of entering this system, so you play here g6. What is the main idea of g6? That if you play mechanically knight f3, black gets some idea. Now for example, now suppose I play a knight. What is the difference? nd2 and nc3. Here he can play g6. Now you play knight f3, he will play bg7. Now if you play bishop g4. Suddenly the pressure is coming. Why black idea? I want to take this and take this, putting pressure. 1, 2. That means you are obliged to push the pawn. You are obliged. That is the reason bishop should not be allowed. The bishop should not be allowed here. That means before playing, you got to play h3. White has to play h3. But why white should play? When the knight on here, you don't need. Now for example, imagine the knight is here. You just can play c3. Pawn to c3. That's all. That is the reason the modern grandmasters avoid the variation. I think the charging, I have to put the charger on quickly. The modern grandmaster just avoid this by playing nd2. Because the c pawn is free. Now if you play g6, bg7, no problem. I don't need also. You don't have to play h3. Because knight f6 is bad. Knight f6 is bad. Because e5, nd7 is bad. I already explained to you. Pawn into pawn and passive position. So you have to play knight h6, bd3 and plus. White is better. The restriction of minor pieces. The black minor pieces are restricted. Excepting the pawn, that is, bishop is watching. So there is no question of taking the pawn. White has the better center and better development. White is better. So it turns out that in nd2, black cannot get into a passive setup. This is bad. Now 4-3 majority. Now he has got already a 4-3 majority. The end game is already, he has got a ready-made plan for end game. Second thing, the center file and everything is now in white's favor. Development in white's favor, center control, pawn structure. Forced. You can't take that. Forced. And plus. Okay, it is now one pawn gone. Rook a8 is only move. Rook a8 only move. File in the hand and clearly on top. So the whole concept I am trying to explain that in this variation, g6 is not a good idea. This is a very good model game by Levon Aronian, a famous grandmaster. Now I will take you to Caruana and Jobava. Now someday it occurred, now normal move here, c5, for example, this is bad. I will take e6, simply a3 is plus. Because after bishop takes pawn, you can play b4 and bb6, queen g4. Or bishop e7 also, it doesn't matter. Queen g4, there is problem. Black has lot of problem. He has to play king f8, g6 is very weak, h4, h5 can come, king f8 is bad. So this a3 is also here. c5 is a bad move, but many people play this still, because simply pawn into pawn and a3. This is also plus. Pawn takes pawn, takes a3. This variation is plus for white. However, other than that, even knight f3 is good, because white is counting on a lead and development. Instead of playing this a3, he says you have challenged, welcome. Now white has got a ready-made, center is in his control and ready to castle quickly. There is problem. How black is going to complete development? Now suppose you play g6. Now e6 will come. E6 will come. This is bad. Now bishop check will come. Now bd7 does not work. Knight into will come. Now here bishop d2 will come. Tempo, continuous tempos. So it is all getting into trouble. So you can't play. You have to play e6. Okay. All right. What other moves? For example, suppose you play nc6. Then in that case, now the knight is supported by queen. So I don't have to worry. I can play c4. Now knight into pawn, I will take and queen takes. There is too much development. White pieces, all knights in center. This is ready. This is all ready. So giving so much tempo just for a pawn, just for one pawn. So cannot give so many tempos. So here you cannot play nc6. I guess that here you have to play e6. Now anyway I push. I want to take modern grandmaster, the fight for a small advantage right from the opening. So on the 5th, 6th move, white is trying for initiative. No problem. Exchanging bishop is favorable to white, because if the mobility, this is a superior bishop compared to this, because the pawn is watching mobility. So exchange, this is white black's good bishop compared to this bad bishop. So exchange the good bishop. So white has a lead in development, a strategic exchange. Now takes plus. White has got a superior pawn structure. The pawn is weak, the center is good. White center is superior and white structure is superior. Plus. What I am trying to explain that even if it is a small advantage from opening, you can keep on hanging to the advantage and try to increase the pressure. This is very good. But mind you, I said this. I think I recommended this in one of my lecture. I still stick to it. That white is better after this. However, this game it appealed to me that this is also white better. Welcome. Just development. Okay, on knight c6, I am ready to play pawn into pawn with advantage. On knight c6, superior structure. Now you play knight into, queen into, pawn into. This will turn out to be bad. Okay, even if you get tempo. So here he has to play here, pawn into, and white has got already an advantage. Okay. Necessary, because you never know this will come sometime because of the pressure. You never know. Plus. Grandmaster Taras said, if a player establishes a piece in the center or in the outer center, this is center, this is outer center. For white, these are the squares, and for black the other square. So if you establish a piece in center or outer center, you get a clear advantage. So this is the one he has established. A piece has entered. Plus. Now you cannot blame, the position is already minus. you cannot blame that he will try to get some counter attack. Mate threat is there. What there is, I don't see. Simply next move rook is coming. So no trick will work. Winning. Whatever you do, even if you play this mistake, okay, whatever you do, you can't other move, this rook check will come if you move the bishop. And there is no time to take. Then rook into with a terrific doubling and piece play. So threat after threat. So he comes here, but then the game is over. Over. Finish. Already weak pawns and a pawn down. Okay. So one more game I will show on this. I think I put it double. No double. F4. So white has a very pleasant position. The piece is very poorly placed, because if one day this is coming, you will get crushed. Now all white is ready. Next plan, he wants to play G3 and H4. There is no need. No need. Ready for queen side action and king side action. Now this is asking for trouble, but there is difficult to find a good plan, counter attack for black. And one pawn is lost with a bad position. Now C5 pawn will lose. Plus minus. Knight E4 is they planning to attack the king side as well, and also the pawn is in trouble. So this is bad position. So we come to a conclusion, okay, I can show the finish the game. This is bad. And I win the game. So what I mean trying to tell you that this variation is fully playable. Okay. One more game, last game I will show you. Ready to castle, because queen b6 can come, otherwise castle. Necessary, you want to prepare for f4. So you give me the bishop, otherwise play bb6, I will take it. And white has space, again a poorly placed knight. A poorly placed knight. White is again better. Structural superiority. Now pawn structure is clearly better. The position black has three pawn island. Black has 3 pawn island, and the pass pawn is also very weak now. The passer d5. Exchange the bishop is quickly, he will get down. Plus minus. Sooner or later bishop exchange, the knight is better than his white square bishop. So with this I leave the variation. What I am trying to tell you that in that variation here, a3 is also a good move, or knight f3 is also a good move, both. So I will come to Caro-Kann later on, some more ideas on the classical, and I have to discuss the main line, classical and Smyslov. Other lines I have covered in Caro-Kann. 3 lines I will discuss in my coming lectures: e4, c6, d4, d5. First I will discuss this pawn into pawn, and this is called what we call Pano Attack, and this is also classical one line. So this I will discuss, pawn into pawn and bd3, and I will also discuss after do nd2 and classical, how to play more correctly for white. Now bf5 and g3, this I will discuss, and the other line I will discuss is Smyslov, main line. So these 3 systems in coming 2-3 lectures I will discuss, and then I will take you to French. How to get claim an advantage in opening to middle game. Okay, thank you very much friends being with me. I will be back today again at 6 p.m. for practical training session. See you at 6 p.m. See you all. Practical training. Bye everybody. Bye.